Until 2033, Uranus will be in the sign of Gemini. And this is one of the biggest collective timeline shifts we've experienced in years. This isn't just another transit. This is a complete reality update. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini was between 1941 and 1949. This was a period that radically changed communication, media, technology, education, and the way entire generations processed information. Now, with Uranus re entering Gemini, your mind, your voice, your future, and a specific area of your chart are going through a 7-year revolution. In this video, we'll break down what each rising sign is being asked to reinvent, disrupt, upgrade, and completely rewrite over the next 7 years. So find your rising sign and let's decode where Uranus in Gemini is accelerating your future.
Hi, Aries. So, for this Uranus and Gemini cycle, your power lies in learning how to use your voice as a tool for liberation, not self betrayal. This is your communication revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini, which was roughly between 1941 to 1949, the world experienced a complete shift in information systems. Radio became propaganda, television entered households, and governments learned how powerful media could be in shaping reality. That generation was born into information control. This new Uranus and Gemini era is completely different. Generation Beta is being born into AI-generated realities, deep fakes, algorithm manipulation, constant noise, and infinite information, but very little truth. So for you, this revolution hits your third house of communication, mindset, media, learning, and your voice. Your thoughts are about to evolve rapidly. So the way you communicate, learn, create content, market yourself, speak, write, process information, all of this will completely transform over the next several years. This transit is asking, can you think for yourself in a world that constantly tries to think for you? Your voice may become one of your greatest assets during this era. This transit disrupts your entire relationship with information, communication, and mental processing. So, over the next several years, you may completely reinvent how you communicate online, how you market yourself, how you consume media, how you learn new skills, how you share your ideas, and how you connect with your local environment. So for Aries, this could be where you launch a podcast, write a book, create content. You could pivot careers into media, tech, or education, or you could become far more visible through communication platforms. But this transit can also expose where your mind has been operating on outdated programming. So you could suddenly realize that you've been repeating inherited beliefs, that your attention span has been fractured, and that you've been consuming information that keeps you distracted instead of empowered. At its highest expression, this transit is turning your voice into a disruptive force. At its lowest, it can create anxiety, scattered thinking, misinformation, and nervous system burnout. This era requires mental discernment. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. The first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So, this means that your voice becomes your currency. So, this is one of the most exciting aspects of this cycle. Venus brings magnetism, money, relationships, beauty, and creativity, while Uranus brings innovation, surprise, technology, and disruption. Together, your communication style may become unexpectedly profitable. So, this can manifest as monetizing your content, attracting clients through speaking or writing, growing your online visibility, building unconventional income streams, or becoming more attractive through your authenticity and intelligence. For some, relationships may begin online or through unusual circumstances. Your social world may radically shift because of what you say publicly. The big lesson of this aspect is to stop underestimating how valuable your mind is. The next aspect is going to be Uranus making a sextile to Neptune in Aries. So this is going to be across your third and first houses. This is about reinventing who you are through what you believe. So this is deeply spiritual for you. As your mind evolves, your identity evolves. Old versions of yourself are dissolving because your belief systems are changing so quickly. So you may begin to feel pulled toward spirituality, manifestation, subconscious work, intuitive development, or alternative education paths. You may also become more comfortable expressing spiritual beliefs publicly. So, at its highest expression, you become deeply authentic. At its lowest, this can bring confusion about identity that can make you shapeshift to fit trends. Your job is to build an identity that is rooted in truth, not performance. Next, Uranus is going to make a trine to Pluto, currently in Aquarius. So this is your third and 11th houses. So this is major influence energy. Pluto in Aquarius is transforming collective systems, communities, and technology. So your voice can now become connected to large audiences, communities, online movements, innovative platforms, and future-facing technology. So something that you say, teach, build, or create has the power to spread far beyond what you expect. This can also radically shift your friendships and networks. So you may outgrow communities that once felt aligned. The highest expression of this energy is that you become an innovator. The lowest expression is that you become addicted to validation from large audiences. Ensure that you stay rooted in purpose. The final aspect is going to be Uranus making a square to the North Node in Pisces, currently in your 12th house. So this may be your biggest challenge because your mind may become overstimulated by social media, news cycles, AI, constant communication, and outside opinions. The danger from this aspect is disconnecting from your own spiritual intelligence. So you may struggle with overthinking, insomnia, nervous system exhaustion, or constantly seeking answers outside yourself. This square is asking you to develop spiritual discipline. So this means meditation, silence, prayer, and rest are going to be your best friends. Some of your greatest breakthroughs are going to happen when you disconnect from external noise and reconnect to your own inner guidance. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to protect your mind. Your nervous system is going to become highly sensitive to overstimulation during this transit. So be intentional about what you consume online, who you listen to, and how often you allow outside noise to interrupt your own thinking. Next is to monetize your voice. Your communication skills may become one of your greatest long-term assets. So if you've been sitting on ideas related to writing, speaking, teaching, podcasting, content creation, or digital media, this is your sign to take them seriously. Next is to stop performing intelligence. You do not need to sound overly polished, hyper-intellectual, or perfect to be respected. Your audience and opportunities will grow when you communicate from lived experience, honesty, and originality. Next is to learn emerging technology. So, Uranus and Gemini will reward people who adapt early. So, stay curious about AI tools, media platforms, communication technology, and future focused systems that can help amplify your message. And finally, prioritize silence. You're going to receive your biggest breakthroughs when you disconnect from constant information streams. So protect your space for solitude, journaling, meditation, or simply allowing your own thoughts to become clear again. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini transit is, my voice carries power. My mind is clear. I trust my own truth in a world full of noise. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus in Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this lit a fire in you, show this video some love with a like, share it with someone who needs it, hype this video, and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you're watching videos like this but still feel like something isn't fully clicking, this is where it actually comes together. My As Above, So Within digital prompt journal walks you through your chart in a way that turns awareness into real understanding. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check it out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Taurus. So for this Uranus and Gemini cycle, your power lies in building wealth in ways your past self couldn't have imagined. This is your financial revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini from roughly 1941 through 1949, the world saw major economic restructuring. New industries were born. Consumer behavior was manipulated through media, and entire generations were taught to equate security with traditional labor systems. that generation was built into financial models that were built around stability through obedience. Generation Beta is being born into something completely different. So this is AI wealth creation, digital assets, remote income, multiple revenue streams, and economic systems that are being rewritten in real time. So for you, this revolution lands in your second house of money, self-worth, resources, and personal stability. The way you earn, save, build wealth, and define success are going to completely change over the next 7 years. This transit is asking, are you building security through old systems or future systems? What once felt safe will now begin to feel limiting. During this transit, your relationship with money changes completely. This transit is going to disrupt your earning patterns. So, this means that over the next several years, you could leave traditional income paths, build multiple streams of income, monetize digital skills, pivot into entrepreneurship, explore AI or tech related opportunities, and completely redefine financial stability. So your income may become less predictable, but more expansive. So this is showing you building wealth through adaptability, as opposed to financial impulsiveness or instability that can create unnecessary stress. This transit teaches you how to create freedom-based security. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. The first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So this means that your value now becomes highly marketable. So this is a powerful abundance energy. Now, because Venus rules money, beauty, attraction, relationships, luxury, and pleasure, Uranus brings innovation. So together, this can bring unexpected financial opportunities through branding, beauty, communication, sales, media, online platforms, and your personal talents. So many Taurus risings are going to suddenly realize their natural gifts are highly profitable. You may also radically upgrade your standards in relationships and finances. So, this is about you attracting wealth through authenticity, as opposed to overspending for status or chasing shiny opportunities that can backfire. Next is Uranus will make a sextile to Neptune in Aries, currently in your 12th house. So, this is spiritual wealth reprogramming. This aspect is deeply subconscious. So, old scarcity programming is starting to dissolve. So, with this energy, you can uncover any inherited beliefs around money guilt, financial fear, survival trauma, or lack mentality. Many Taurus risings are also going to become interested in manifestation, energetic wealth work, subconscious reprogramming, and spiritual entrepreneurship. So, this is about you healing your relationship with receiving as opposed to escapism around finances that can create avoidance. You need both faith and strategy. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto, currently in Aquarius, in your 10th house. So, this is massive long term career power. Pluto in Aquarius is transforming your public life and legacy. So, your career may radically evolve through technology, online platforms, innovation, and unconventional leadership roles. So, this can bring career pivots, unexpected promotions, public visibility, and new business opportunities. This is your time to build generational wealth, as opposed to having an obsession with status that can disconnect you from true fulfillment. Finally, Uranus will be making a square with the North Node in Pisces, currently in your 11th house. So, this may feel uncomfortable. This can bring pressure from friends, social circles, online communities, or collective trends to pursue paths that don't actually align with your personal values. So you may ask, am I building wealth that feels authentic, or am I chasing what looks impressive online? Your biggest lesson with this aspect is to build a future that reflects your actual values, not social pressure. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to diversify your income. Relying on one income stream will begin to feel increasingly unstable or limiting during this cycle. So explore multiple ways to create financial security so your future feels flexible rather than fragile. Next is to learn new financial systems. The way people build wealth is rapidly changing. So be sure to stay open to learning about investing, digital business, AI-driven opportunities, online entrepreneurship, and emerging financial systems that may benefit you long term. Next is to heal any scarcity mindsets. This transit will expose any survival fears that you didn't realize were driving your financial decisions. Building wealth externally becomes much easier when your nervous system no longer believes abundance is unsafe. Next is to stop undervaluing your natural gifts. So you may be sitting on talents that are far more profitable than you realize. So pay attention to what comes naturally to you, because Uranus is going to show you unconventional ways those gifts can generate income. And finally, build wealth that feels free. You are redefining what security actually means. True abundance should create peace, flexibility, and choice, not trap you inside systems you secretly resent. A great affirmation for you during this transit is, I create wealth through innovation, trust my value, and build a future rooted in freedom and abundance. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus in Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this gave you clarity, be sure to support this video with a like, share it with someone who's figuring things out too, hype this video, and subscribe to stay in the flow. And if you felt seen here, a one-on-one is where we take that surface recognition and turn it into real personalized guidance. One session can shift how you see your entire life. Plus, I have over 10 different session types that you can customize to whatever you're working through. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you, And thanks so much for watching. Hi, Gemini. So, for this Uranus in Gemini era, your power lies in giving yourself permission to become unrecognizable in the best way. This is your identity revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini, the world learned how easily identity could be shaped through media, messaging, and collective programming. Entire generations were taught who to be, how to behave, what success looked like, and what roles they were expected to play. Now we're entering a very different era. This is AI identities, virtual personas, digital cloning, algorithmic beauty standards, constant comparison, and rapidly shifting social narratives. Generation Beta will be born into a world where identity is fluid, digital, and constantly evolving. And for you, this lands directly in your first house of identity, appearance, confidence, self-expression, and personal reinvention. So over the next 7 years, your style may change, your brand may change, your appearance may change, your confidence and your purpose may change. And all of it may happen faster than expected. This transit is asking you, who are you beneath every label you've outgrown? With Uranus in your first house, your entire identity is being rewritten. This is one of the most life-altering Uranus transits. So you may suddenly feel restless, rebellious, bored by old versions of yourself, and unwilling to be predictable. So over the next several years, you could rebrand yourself, relocate, radically change your appearance, start a brand new career, leave outdated relationships, and become far more authentic. You may start to hear people saying, "You've changed," and they'll be right. At its highest expression, this transit is here to liberate you. At its lowest, this can create constant reinvention without grounding, which can create instability. This transit is about you being meant to evolve and not abandon yourself. As Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of the first is going to be the conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So this transit is going to make you highly noticeable. So your attractiveness can increase because of your uniqueness. So this can cause you to completely upgrade your style, become more visible online, attract unexpected romantic opportunities, monetize your personal brand, or become known for your individuality. This can also completely change your relationship standards. At its highest expression, you will be able to attract opportunities by being fully yourself. At its lowest, this can cause you to seek validation through external attention that can become distracting. Next, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune in Aries, currently in your 11th house. This means that your future requires a new version of you. This is deeply visionary. So, as your identity changes, your future goals will evolve as well. So, you may suddenly feel disconnected from old friendships, outdated goals or communities you've outgrown, and in turn become drawn toward spiritual communities, future focused work, creative innovation, or humanitarian causes. This energy helps your reinvention of self to align you with your purpose. The other side of this is that it can cause you to shapeshift to fit into new groups. This is about you staying rooted in authenticity. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your 9th house. So this is massive life expansion energy. Your identity evolution can open doors through travel, teaching, publishing, global opportunities, education, or spiritual exploration. This can cause you to completely outgrow your current worldview. This energy helps you to step into the position as a thought leader, or it can create restlessness that can bring impulsive decision making. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node in Pisces in your 10th house. So this is personal freedom versus public expectations. This may feel like a major tension point. Your career or public image may expect one version of you, but your soul is evolving into another. So you may ask, do I keep being who people expect? Or do I risk disappointing others to become authentic? So this may trigger major career pivots. But at the end of the day, authenticity is your path. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to allow yourself to reinvent. You are not meant to force consistency during a season of rapid evolution. Let yourself experiment with your identity without shaming yourself for changing. Next is to update your personal brand. Your image, voice, and presence can become major opportunities during this transit. Make sure the way you present yourself reflects who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Next is to release outdated labels. Stop introducing yourself through identities you've already outgrown. You are allowed to evolve beyond the version of yourself people feel most comfortable with. Next is to stay grounded during rapid change. Your nervous system will need extra support while so many changes are happening at once. So be sure that you are prioritizing rest, movement, routines, and practices that help you to stay connected to yourself. And finally, let authenticity cost what it costs. Some relationships, opportunities, or environments may fall away when you stop performing. Trust that what leaves is making room for what's truly aligned. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini era is, I give myself permission to evolve. My authenticity is my power, and I trust the version of me that is emerging. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this actually moves something in you, don't just sit on it. Be sure to like this video, hype this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for what's next. And if you're going through a breakup, a transition, or just feel off in your life right now, my As Above, So Within digital prompt journal will help you process what's actually happening beneath the surface and begin healing. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check it out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Cancer. So, during this Uranus in Gemini cycle, your power lies in learning when to disconnect from the world so you can finally hear yourself. This cycle is your subconscious revolution. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was between around 1941 and 1949. So, humanity became deeply influenced by external messaging systems. People were told what to believe, what to fear, and what narratives to trust. Now we're entering a world where truth feels even harder to locate. So, this is constant digital stimulation, infinite information loops, algorithmic distraction, and AI generated realities. Generation Beta is being born into information overload. And for you, this lands in your 12th house of spirituality, hidden patterns, subconscious programming, endings, intuition, and healing. This means your biggest breakthroughs are going to happen privately. So, over the next several years, you may awaken spiritually, become more intuitive, break generational trauma cycles, heal subconscious fears, release self sabotage patterns, and need significantly more solitude. This transit is asking, what happens when you stop outsourcing your inner voice? This transit can feel subtle at first, but it can completely transform your inner world. So you may experience more vivid dreams, spiritual downloads, sudden endings, heightened intuition, and unexpected emotional releases. Hidden fears may surface so that they can finally be healed. At its highest expression, this energy is going to create spiritual liberation. At its lowest, it can create avoidance, escapism, or nervous system burnout if you ignore your inner world. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. The first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So, this aspect can bring some unexpected healing around love, worth, and emotional needs. So, this could cause you to uncover some hidden relationship patterns. It can help you to release old heartbreak, feel more drawn toward private healing work, as well as to attract some spiritual relationships. Creative inspiration can also increase dramatically behind the scenes. So, this is a great time for you to learn how to receive privately before receiving publicly. A lower vibration of this energy could bring secretive relationship dynamics that become unhealthy. Next, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune currently in Aries in your 10th house. This is powerful. So, as your inner world evolves, your professional life is also going to shift. So, you may suddenly feel disconnected from careers that lack meaning, public roles that feel performative, as well as any paths that ignore your intuition. So, many Cancer risings may completely pivot professionally because of spiritual awakenings. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto, currently in Aquarius, in your eighth house. So, this is deep trauma healing. This is one of the most powerful healing aspects of the transit. Pluto is helping you to confront deep fears around control, trauma, powerlessness, trust, and intimacy. This can bring profound psychological breakthroughs. This can help you to break generational cycles, but it can also cause you to resist emotional depth, which can prolong your healing process. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces, in your ninth house. So you may feel torn between spiritual growth and spiritual bypassing. This transit is challenging you to ask, am I genuinely healing, or am I using spirituality to avoid reality? With this, discernment becomes everything. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to create more silence in your life. Your intuition is going to become incredibly loud during this transit, but only if you give it space to speak. So, build regular moments of stillness into your life so that you can separate your own truth from external noise. Next is to take your mental health seriously. So, hidden anxiety, burnout, or emotional suppression can surface during this time for healing. So, any type of therapy, somatic work, meditation, and nervous system regulation can become life changing tools during this cycle. Next is to pay attention to your dreams. Your subconscious is going to communicate through symbols, dreams, and intuitive flashes. So keep a journal nearby because some of your biggest breakthroughs may arrive while you sleep. Next is to release secret self sabotage patterns. Be honest about where you procrastinate, isolate, or unconsciously block your own success. This transit wants to free you from habits that quietly keep you stuck. And finally, let your career evolve with your healing. As you grow spiritually, your career path may naturally shift. So don't force yourself to stay committed to paths that no longer feel aligned with who you're becoming. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini era is, I trust my inner voice. I release hidden fears, honor my healing, and allow my intuition to guide my future. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus in Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if you felt seen in this, be sure to like this video, share it with someone else who would feel the same, hype this video, and subscribe so you never miss the next download. And if you're in a season where everything feels like it's shifting, my As Above, So Within digital prompt journal helps you to track it, understand it, and move with it. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hey, Leo. So, for this Uranus in Gemini cycle, your power lies in allowing your future to become bigger than what your current environment can understand. This is your community and future revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini was over 80 years ago, and the collective systems at that time taught people how to conform to larger societal narratives. So mass communication became centralized. People were rewarded for fitting in. Now we're entering an era where communities are becoming increasingly decentralized. So people are building careers through niche audiences. Movements are forming overnight online, and entire industries are being reshaped through digital communities. Generation Beta is currently being born into hyper fragmented communities and rapidly evolving social ecosystems. And for you, this lands in your 11th house of friendships, audiences, community, networking, future goals, and long term dreams. So, over the next several years, your audience may grow rapidly. Your friendships may radically change. Your future goals may completely evolve. You may build communities online, and you may outgrow old social circles. This transit is asking, are you building the future you truly want or the one your current environment expects? This transit can quickly change your long term plans. So you may pivot your career goals. You may build an online platform, and you may also relocate for an opportunity. Your vision may evolve faster than the people around you can understand. So, this energy can create massive innovation. At its lowest expression, it can create constant instability that can keep you from committing to meaningful goals. So, be sure to watch out for that. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. The first being a conjunction to Venus in Gemini. So, this is powerful audience energy. So, you may attract some highly aligned communities. You may grow your online visibility. You can also create profitable collaborations or build friendships through digital spaces. So, your social life may feel radically different. Your network is going to expand your opportunities. The only thing to watch out for with this is to not seek popularity over alignment because that can create emptiness. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries, in your ninth house. So, this aspect expands your worldview. So, you may feel called toward traveling, education, publishing, spiritual learning, or global audiences. With this, your future becomes larger because your beliefs become larger. So, at its highest, you will be able to inspire people through your perspective. Or you could find yourself chasing endless possibilities without focus, which in turn creates burnout. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto, currently in Aquarius in your seventh house. So, of course, your partnerships may completely transform. So, you may attract some powerful collaborators. You could enter into unconventional relationships or outgrow partnerships that are limiting your growth. So, the people closest to you may dramatically change. So, this can cause your relationships to accelerate your future, or it can bring in power struggles that can emerge if control issues remain unhealed. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces, in your eighth house. So, this may challenge your relationships with trust and vulnerability. So, you may ask, am I constantly staying busy socially to avoid deeper emotional work? Or am I allowing intimacy to evolve too? Your future growth requires emotional depth, not just external expansion. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to let your future evolve. Your long term vision may shift several times during this transit. So stay flexible enough to pivot when something more aligned appears. Next is to be intentional about your community. Not every audience, friendship, or network is meant for your future. So pay attention to who energizes your growth versus who keeps you attached to outdated versions of yourself. Next is to build digital community thoughtfully. This transit can bring incredible online growth opportunities. So focus on creating genuine connection, not just chasing visibility. Next is to stay grounded in your vision. New opportunities are definitely going to come more quickly and often. So make sure you're building something meaningful instead of saying yes to everything. And finally, don't neglect emotional intimacy. External success and large communities don't replace genuine emotional connection. So continue doing the deeper vulnerability work that this transit is asking of you. A great affirmation for you during this transit is, I trust my evolving future. The right people, opportunities, and communities align with the life I'm meant to build. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus in Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if you're on this journey with me, be sure to like this video, send it to the people who need it, hype this video, and subscribe so we stay tapped in together. And if you felt seen here, a one-on-one is where we take that surface recognition and turn it into real personalized guidance. One session can shift how you see your entire life. Plus, I have over 10 session types that you can customize to whatever you're working through. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Virgo. So, for this Uranus in Gemini cycle, your power lies in allowing your career to evolve beyond what feels safe. This is your career revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini over 80 years ago, people were taught that success meant following stable systems. Work hard, stay loyal, climb slowly, don't disrupt the structure. Now we're entering an era where traditional career systems are being completely rewritten. Entire industries are being automated. Personal brands are becoming businesses. Technology is creating opportunities that previous generations never had access to. Generation Beta is now being born into professional systems that will look nothing like the past. And for you, this lands in your 10th house of career, reputation, leadership, visibility, and long term success. So, over the next several years, your career path will pivot dramatically. Your public image may evolve. You may become more visible online. You may launch something unconventional. And you may also leave traditional career structures entirely. This transit is asking, are you building a career that feels secure or one that feels alive? This transit brings major professional reinvention. So, leaving a traditional job, building a business, becoming more public facing, or entering tech, media, or communication driven work. So, your definition of success is going to radically evolve. This is going to create professional freedom, or it could create a fear of instability that may keep you stuck in outdated career paths. So definitely be on the lookout for that. As soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of the first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So this is going to be extremely beneficial for your career. This is increased public recognition, unexpected financial opportunities, personal brand growth, and even lucrative collaborations. Your charm and communication skills can become major career assets. So, this gives you the ability to attract abundance through visibility. Ensure that you are not prioritizing image over substance, because that can actually create instability. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries in your eighth house. So, this can bring changes that involve investments, business partnerships, shared finances, or client relationships. So, you may become more interested in spiritual business models or deeper transformational work. This creates aligned financial expansion, or financial confusion can arise if your boundaries are unclear. Next, Uranus makes a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your sixth house. So, this is powerful long term restructuring. So, your daily routines, your work habits, and your responsibilities are going to start to radically evolve. So, this may cause you to start to automate your task, work remotely, build more freedom into your schedule, or completely shift how you work. This is going to give you the ability to create sustainable success. But burnout could continue if you don't change your habits. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node in Pisces, currently in your seventh house. So, this could create tension between your personal ambitions and your relationships. So, you may ask, am I prioritizing success at the expense of connection? Or am I shrinking professionally to keep others comfortable? With this energy, balance becomes critical. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to stay open to career reinvention. Your career may look completely different by the end of this transit. So, release rigid timelines and allow yourself to pivot when new opportunities appear. Next is to build skills that future proof you. So, technology and communication are quickly evolving. So, learning adaptable skills now can create major long term security. Next is to take visibility seriously. This transit may ask you to become more public facing than you expected. So, start getting comfortable sharing your expertise and building your reputation. Next is to redefine success on your terms. During this transit, traditional milestones may stop feeling meaningful. So use this energy to create a version of success that actually supports your lifestyle and fulfillment. Finally, protect your relationships while you grow. Career expansion is exciting, but be sure you don't neglect the people who matter. Sustainable success also includes healthy personal relationships as well. A great affirmation for you during this transit is: I allow my career to evolve beyond limitation. My success expands when I trust innovation, visibility, and aligned growth. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this gave you clarity, be sure to support this video with a like, share it with someone who needs it, hype this video, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you felt seen, let's go deeper in a one-on-one session where we will shift your entire life concept. Plus, I offer over 10 different session styles to match what exactly you are moving through. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out and book your session. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Libra. So, during this Uranus and Gemini cycle, your power lies in allowing your worldview to expand beyond everything you were taught was realistic. This era is your belief system revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini, which was over 80 years ago, institutional narratives became incredibly powerful. People were taught what truth looked like, what education should look like, what success should look like, and what paths were considered respectable. Entire generations built their lives around inherited belief systems. Now we're entering a radically different era. Traditional education is being disrupted. AI is changing how people learn. People are creating careers from global audiences. And truth is becoming increasingly decentralized. Generation Beta is now being born into a world where traditional institutions may no longer be the default path. And for you, this lands in your ninth house of higher learning, spirituality, travel, publishing, expansion, philosophy, and belief systems. Over the next 7 years, you may relocate internationally, teach on larger platforms, question religious beliefs, pursue unconventional education paths, build a global audience, become a thought leader, or travel more frequently. This transit is asking, what happens when your life becomes too expansive for inherited limitations? This may be one of the biggest worldview shifts of your lifetime. Having Uranus transiting your ninth house means your entire worldview is being rewritten. This brings major expansion through disruption. So, over the next several years, you may suddenly feel deeply restless with certain environments, beliefs, and systems that once felt stable. So, this is you questioning cultural conditioning, building international business opportunities, feeling drawn toward media, law, teaching, publishing, or spirituality, or even leaving traditional education paths. For many of you, you may realize that you've been living inside belief systems that you never consciously chose. So you may ask, Do I actually believe this, or was I simply taught this? This energy creates extraordinary expansion and freedom. But be sure to watch out for constant wandering without commitment, because that can create instability. You are being asked to expand intentionally. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. The first being a conjunction with Venus currently in Gemini. So, this can be one of the most exciting parts of this transit because Venus rules money, attraction, love, beauty, pleasure, relationships, while Uranus brings surprise and disruption. So, together, this can bring unexpected opportunities through online education, cross cultural relationships, publishing, teaching, international travel. So you may unexpectedly fall in love with a place, a philosophy, a person, or an entirely different way of living. For some of you, relationships may come through travel, online platforms, or unconventional circumstances. Financial growth may also come from expanding beyond local limitations. So you're able to attract abundance through expansion. Just ensure that you are not chasing something that's new without grounding, because then that can turn into escapism. Next, Uranus makes a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries in your seventh house. So this is deeply transformative. Your partners can now become catalysts for your expansion. So you may attract people who challenge your worldview, push you toward bigger possibilities, encourage greater spiritual growth, or introduce you to new cultures. Existing relationships may also evolve dramatically as your beliefs shift. So you may realize that certain partnerships were built around outdated versions of yourself. During this time, relationships help to expand your life, but idealizing people as your way out can create dependency. So understand that your expansion belongs to you first. Next, Uranus makes a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your fifth house. So this is a massive creative expansion. So your creativity can suddenly evolve into thought leadership, public influence, publishing, creative entrepreneurship, or teaching. So you may discover that what brings you happiness could also create major impact. This can also radically shift your relationship with dating, children, creativity, and self expression. This energy allows you to create work that reaches far beyond your current world. Just be sure to watch out for any fear of visibility, because that can keep you playing small. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces in your sixth house. So, this could create some tension between expansion and your daily responsibilities. So, you may ask yourself, how do I pursue bigger dreams while maintaining stability? Or how do I expand my life without abandoning my responsibilities? So, you may feel torn between routine and adventure, security and expansion, or predictability and freedom. This square is asking you to build a life where both can coexist. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini transit is first to question every limiting belief. So you may realize many of your current beliefs were inherited from family, culture, religion, or outdated institutions. Give yourself permission to explore perspectives that feel more aligned with who you're becoming. Next is to say yes to expansion opportunities. Travel, education, publishing, speaking, teaching, and global opportunities may become major catalysts during this cycle. So, even if something feels unfamiliar, remain open to experiences that expand your world. Next is to build a global mindset. Your future may become far less local than you imagined. So think bigger about where your work, responsibilities, and opportunities can exist. Next is to ground your big vision into action. Expansion is powerful, but you still need structure. So create practical systems that support the larger life that you're trying to build. And finally, let your truth evolve. You are not meant to keep defending beliefs that no longer resonate. Your truth may evolve many times during this transit, and that evolution is healthy. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini transit is: my life expands beyond inherited limitations. I trust new perspectives, global opportunities, and the truth that continues to set me free. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this actually moves something in you, don't just sit on it. Be sure to hit like, hype this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for what's next. And if you're ready to feel chosen without needing someone else to choose you first, my digital Venus activation prompt journal walks you back into that version of yourself and reset your relationship patterns. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Scorpio. So, during this Uranus in Gemini cycle, your power lies in learning that true power is flexibility, not control. This is your intimacy and power revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini over 80 years ago, collective survival systems changed dramatically. People experienced financial instability, resource scarcity, psychological manipulation, hidden agendas, and collective fear. Entire generations became deeply protective over money, trust, and survival. Now we're entering a completely different era of digital assets, AI wealth systems, non traditional partnerships, rapid shifts in financial structures, and entirely new conversations around intimacy and power. Generation Beta is being born into systems where shared resources and relational structures may look nothing like the past. And for you, this transit lands in your eighth house of intimacy, shared finances, transformation, psychological depth, trust, trauma, sexuality, inheritance, and rebirth. So, over the next 7 years, your relationship with intimacy will transform. Shared financial structures will change. You may heal trauma patterns. You may release unhealthy attachments. And you have the power to radically redefine trust. This transit is asking, what happens when life removes the illusion of control so you can experience true freedom? This can be one of the most transformative periods of your life. With Uranus in your eighth house, your relationship with control is being rewritten. This transit brings sudden shifts involving shared resources, emotional vulnerability, and intimacy. So you could experience sudden financial changes involving partners, debt restructuring, inheritance matters, investment opportunities, psychological breakthroughs, and major endings and rebirths. Emotionally, this transit can expose where control has become a trauma response. So you may realize that you struggle to trust others, that you overprotect yourself emotionally, or that you attach security to control. This transit has the ability to create profound liberation and empowerment. But resistance to change can intensify unnecessary chaos. So, the more flexible you become, the easier this transit feels. As soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few different aspects. The first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So, this can definitely bring some sudden shifts in both finances and your relationships. So, you could experience unexpected financial support, changes in shared income, unconventional relationship dynamics, deeper emotional intimacy, as well as powerful sexual awakenings. So, for some, this can bring healing around receiving support. And for others, it may expose relationships that are built on unhealthy dependency. So, at its highest vibration, you can learn how to receive without losing yourself. The lower vibration is confusing intensity for intimacy, which can then create instability. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries, in your sixth house. This is incredibly powerful because your emotional patterns are going to directly impact your physical health. So, this can cause you to become more aware of how stress, emotional suppression, resentment, or hyper independence affects your nervous system and your body. It would be perfect for you to use this energy to explore trauma work, alternative health practices, mind body healing, as well as somatic healing. This energy is going to allow you to heal from the inside out. But at the same time, ignoring your emotional health can create burnout. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your fourth house. So, this is one of the most powerful aspects of this entire transit. Pluto helps you to confront inherited emotional patterns that involve family control, generational trauma, scarcity, emotional survival mechanisms, and secrecy. So you may become the person who breaks cycles that your family has normalized. This can also bring some major shifts involving property, family resources, or your home life. This gives you the power to create generational healing. But avoiding family truth will prolong the pain. Finally, Uranus will make a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces, in your fifth house. So, this may create tension between deep transformation and your desire for comfort. So, you may ask, do I keep choosing familiar emotional patterns, or do I risk vulnerability for deeper love and freedom? So, this can bring important lessons around dating, children, creativity, and emotional openness. Be sure to remember that growth requires vulnerability. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to become more financially educated. Shared financial systems will almost certainly shift dramatically during this transit. So, learn about investments, debt management, wealth building tools, and new financial systems so that you feel empowered rather than reactive. Next is to heal your relationship with vulnerability. Control often feels safer than surrender, but intimacy requires openness. So, therapy, trauma healing, and honest communication can completely transform your relationships. Next is to release survival based attachments. Pay attention to where you stay attached to people, patterns, or financial situations out of fear. This transit may remove what keeps you stuck so you can build healthier forms of security. Next is to explore emotional and somatic healing. Your body holds stories that your mind has tried to suppress. So, nervous system regulation, breath work, and trauma informed healing can be incredibly supportive for you during this transit. And finally, let transformation happen without resisting it. Your life may go through multiple major rebirths during this cycle. Trust that every ending is creating space for a far more empowered version of you. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus in Gemini transit is: I release control, trust transformation, and allow deeper intimacy, healing, and abundance into my life. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this helped you to understand yourself on a deeper level, be sure to like this video, pass it on to someone who needs it, hype this video, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you felt seen, a one-on-one is where we take that surface recognition and turn it into real personalized guidance. One session can shift how you see your entire life. Plus, I have over 10 different session types that you can customize to whatever you're working through. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hey, Sagittarius. So, during this Uranus in Gemini cycle, your power lies in choosing relationships that support your evolution, not relationships that keep you predictable. This cycle is your relationship revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini, over 80 years ago, partnerships were often shaped by survival systems. People were taught marriage equals stability, commitment requires sacrifice, and security should be prioritized over compatibility. Entire generations entered partnerships based on practicality. Now we're entering a radically different era. Relationships are becoming more unconventional. People are redefining marriage. Technology is changing how people meet and connect, and traditional relational structures are quickly evolving. Generation Beta is currently being born into partnership models that will look radically different from previous generations. And for you, this Uranus in Gemini energy lands in your seventh house of marriage, partnerships, contracts, clients, business collaborations, and long term commitment. So, over the next 7 years, your relationship standards will radically evolve. You may start to attract unconventional partners. Existing relationships may dramatically shift. Business partnerships may become life changing, and you may completely redefine commitment. This transit is asking, are your relationships built on authenticity or familiarity? Uranus in your seventh house means that your relationship patterns are being disrupted. So you may enter unexpected relationships. You may leave stagnant partnerships. You may experience rapid changes in business partnerships and redefine commitment entirely. So, any type of relationships that feel restrictive are going to become difficult to maintain. This transit often exposes where you've compromised your freedom for connection. So, this transit is giving you the power to build highly authentic partnerships. But be sure to watch out for impulsive relationship decisions that can create instability. During this time, freedom and commitment must coexist. As soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it is making a few aspects. One of the first being a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So, this can be extremely exciting for relationships. So, you could meet someone unexpectedly, attract unconventional romantic opportunities, experience sudden improvements in relationships, or attract highly aligned clients or collaborators. So, love could arrive through technology, social media, travel, or unexpected circumstances. For some, your relationship values will radically shift. And this gives you the power to attract relationships that feel alive. But be sure you're not mistaking unpredictability for compatibility, because that can create chaos. Next, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries, in your fifth house. This brings beautiful, creative, and romantic expansion. So you may feel more creatively inspired. You may deepen your romantic connections. You could explore parenthood differently or reconnect with joy. So you could attract people who inspire your creativity and your emotional growth. So at its highest vibration, your relationships are able to expand your joy. At its lowest, idealization can cloud discernment. So be sure to watch out for that. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your third house. This is powerful. This means that your communication patterns are going to radically shift. So you may become more direct, establish stronger boundaries, or communicate your needs more clearly. This has the power to completely transform your relationships. Honest communication will create deeper intimacy. Poor communication habits will destabilize relationships. And finally, Uranus will be making a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces, in your fourth house. So, this may create some tension between your relationships and your need for emotional safety. So, you may ask, am I choosing comfort over growth, or am I staying because it feels familiar? This can bring major lessons around home, family, commitment, and emotional safety. Some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to redefine what commitment means to you. Your idea of partnership is going to evolve significantly during this cycle. So give yourself permission to create relationship structures that feel authentic rather than inherited. Next is to communicate more honestly. This transit rewards transparency. The clearer you become about your needs, boundaries, and desires, the healthier your relationships can become. Next is to stop romanticizing potential. Not every exciting connection is meant to last. Pay attention to consistency, compatibility, and emotional maturity. Next is to stay open to unconventional opportunities. Love, partnerships, and collaborations can arrive through unexpected channels. So stay open to what doesn't fit your usual type. And finally, build relationships that allow freedom. Healthy partnership should support expansion, not restrict it. Choose people who celebrate your evolution. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini transit is: I attract relationships that honor both freedom and commitment. My partnerships evolve as I evolve. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this brought you clarity you didn't have before, be sure to hit like, share this video, hype this video, and subscribe to stay connected to this kind of energy. And if you're ready to feel chosen without needing someone else to choose you first, my digital Venus activation prompt journal walks you back into that version of yourself and reset your relationship patterns. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check it out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hi, Capricorn. During this Uranus and Gemini cycle, your power lies in building a daily life that creates freedom, not burnout. This is your work and wellness revolution. So, the last time that Uranus moved through Gemini over 80 years ago, entire labor systems were reshaped. People were taught work harder, stay productive, be loyal to institutions, and sacrifice personal well being for stability. And many people inherited unhealthy relationships with productivity. Now we are entering an entirely different era. AI is changing jobs. Traditional offices are shifting. People are prioritizing flexibility, and productivity itself is being redefined. Generation Beta is being born into work systems that may look nothing like previous generations. And for you, this action is landing in your sixth house of work, routines, health, habits, responsibilities, and daily systems. So, Over the next 7 years, your career structure will radically shift. Your routines may completely change. Your health habits may evolve. You may begin to work remotely. You may start to automate your systems. And you may begin to prioritize freedom over hustle culture. This transit is asking, are your daily habits supporting your future or draining it? Uranus in Gemini brings major disruption to your routines. So you may leave traditional work environments, build a more flexible schedule, shift industries, completely change how you structure your day, or even begin to work in tech, media, or AI spaces. You are more likely to become increasingly intolerant of rigid systems. This transit gives you the ability to create freedom based productivity, or constant instability can create chaos if you lack structure. As soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects, one of them being a conjunction to Venus in Gemini. So, this can bring some unexpected opportunities in your daily work life. So, you could attract better clients, improve your workplace relationships, create more enjoyable routines, or monetize your communication skills. So, for some, healthier work life balance is going to become a major focus. This transit is helping you to create beauty and ease in your daily life. But people pleasing at work can still create burnout. Next, Uranus makes a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries, in your fourth house. So, this can bring shifts involving remote work, home based businesses, relocation, or family responsibilities. So, you may realize that your current environment is no longer supportive of your productivity. This is going to help you create a lifestyle that feels emotionally supportive. But keep in mind, avoiding necessary home changes can prolong stress. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto, currently in Aquarius, in your second house. So, this is major financial potential. Your work evolution can directly increase your income. So, you could create better systems, you could build scalable income. This can help you to increase your efficiency, and you could discover new revenue streams. So, this energy can help you create sustainable wealth, or overworking will simply create a new version of burnout. So, be sure to watch out for that. Finally, Uranus will be making a square to the North Node, currently in Pisces, in your third house. So, this may create tension between productivity and mental clarity. So, you may ask, am I staying busy to feel valuable? Or am I overconsuming information instead of taking action? Remember that mental discipline becomes critical under this transit. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini transit is first to redesign your daily routine. Your old systems may stop working entirely during this transit. So be willing to create routines that prioritize efficiency, flexibility, and actual well being. Next is to learn automation and technology. AI tools, automation systems, and digital workflows may become major assets for you. Staying adaptable can dramatically improve your long-term success. Next is to stop romanticizing burnout. Exhaustion is not proof of ambition. This transit may teach you that rest and sustainability are essential parts of success. Next is to improve your physical health habits. Your body will demand better care as your work life changes. Sleep, movement, nutrition, and nervous system support will become increasingly important. And finally, build systems that scale. You are being shown how to work smarter, not harder. So create systems that allow your income and success to grow without requiring constant depletion. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini transit is: I create systems that support my freedom, health, and long-term success. My daily life evolves with my future. Be sure to let me know how the energy of this Uranus and Gemini transit is showing up for you in the comments below. And if you're on this journey with me, be sure to like this video, send it to your people who need this, hype this video, and subscribe so we can stay tapped in together. And if you're going through a breakup, transition, or just feel off in your life right now, my As Above, So Within digital prompt journal will help you process what's actually happening beneath the surface and begin healing. Be sure to tap the link below and check out all of my offerings to get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hey, Aquarius. So, during this Uranus and Gemini cycle, your power lies in giving yourself permission to create what doesn't currently exist. This era is your creativity revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini over 80 years ago, creative expression often served institutional messaging. So, entertainment was centralized, creative freedom was limited, and many people were taught to suppress unconventional forms of self expression. Now we are entering a radically different era. AI is changing art. Creators are building empires independently. Entertainment industries are being disrupted, and people are monetizing originality in entirely new ways. Generation Beta is being born into creative systems that will look nothing like previous generations. And for you, all of this lands in your fifth house of creativity, romance, children, self expression, visibility, passion, and pleasure. So, over the next 7 years, you may rediscover joy in unexpected ways. You could approach parenting differently. Your romantic life will shift dramatically. You could build a personal brand, and your creative work could radically evolve. This transit is asking you, are you creating from authenticity or creating what feels safe? This transit can completely disrupt what brings you happiness. So, this is you monetizing your hobbies, rediscovering passions that you abandoned, building a brand, launching creative projects, or pivoting artistic directions. So, for some, this can also bring unexpected pregnancies or major shifts involving children. This transit may force you to realize that your current life lacks enough creativity and pleasure. So you can use this time to create groundbreaking work or have a fear of being seen that keeps your gifts hidden. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few different aspects. The first being a conjunction to Venus in Gemini. So, this can definitely bring some exciting shifts when it comes to romance and creativity. So, you could attract unconventional romantic partners. You could become more visible. This is you monetizing your creative talents or even experiencing sudden creative breakthroughs. This transit can feel highly magnetic. This transit gives you the power to attract opportunities through authenticity. But on the flip side, be sure that you're not mistaking excitement for emotional stability, which will then create romantic chaos. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to Neptune, currently in Aries, in your third house. So, this is incredibly strong for creators. So, you may feel called toward speaking, writing, content creation, storytelling, or teaching. This also means that your ideas have the power to become highly profitable. At its highest vibration, this aspect means that your voice can amplify your creativity. At its lowest, overthinking can block execution. So be sure to watch out for that. Next, Uranus will be making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, of course, currently in your first house. So this is massive identity transformation. Your creative evolution will completely reshape your image, your confidence, and your public presence. So you could absolutely become unrecognizable in the best way. This energy allows you to fully embody your genius. But fear of judgment can delay transformation. And next, Uranus will make a square to the North Node in Pisces, currently in your second house. So, this may create tension between passion and practicality. So, you may be asking, can I actually make money doing what I love? Should I prioritize passion or stability? This transit is asking for you to build both. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to take your creativity seriously. Your hobbies, creative ideas, and passion projects may hold far more long term potential than you realize. So stop treating your gifts like they're optional if they keep calling you. Next is to experiment with new platforms and technology. So, digital platforms, AI tools, and emerging creative technologies will definitely help to amplify your work. So, stay curious about innovative ways to share your creativity. Next is to let yourself be seen. This transit is going to push you into greater visibility. Your growth may require releasing perfectionism and allowing your work to be witnessed. Next is to stay disciplined with your gifts. Creative breakthroughs are exciting, but consistency matters. So build systems that help your ideas move from inspiration into reality. And finally, redefine what joy looks like. During this transit, you may outgrow old sources of happiness. So give yourself permission to explore new experiences, relationships, and passions that feel more aligned. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini transit is: my creativity is valuable, innovative, and worthy of being seen. I trust the joy that leads me toward my future. Be sure to let me know how the energy of Uranus and Gemini is showing up for you in the comments below. And if you felt seen in this, be sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, hype this video, and subscribe so you never miss your next download. And if you feel like you've outgrown where you are, but don't know what's coming next, a one-on-one with me will help you to understand exactly what's shifting and why. Plus, I have over 10 different session types for you to customize to whatever you're working through. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Hey Pisces! So, this Uranus and Gemini cycle means that your power lies in creating emotional safety from within instead of depending on external stability. This is your foundation revolution. The last time Uranus moved through Gemini in the 1940s, family systems were heavily disrupted. People experienced forced relocations, economic instability, changing gender roles, family restructuring, and survival based parenting. During this time, many people inherited emotional patterns that were rooted in instability. So now we're entering a radically different era. People are redefining family. Remote work allows relocation freedom, housing systems are changing, and parenting models are evolving. Generation Beta is being born into home structures that look radically different from previous generations. And for you, all of this is happening in your fourth house of home, family, emotional foundations, ancestry, roots, private life, and inner security. So, over the next 7 years, you may relocate unexpectedly, buy or sell property, move frequently, heal family dynamics, break generational patterns, or even create a completely different home life than what you inherited. This transit is asking, are you building a home that feels familiar or one that feels truly aligned? Uranus and Gemini in your fourth house means that your foundation is being rebuilt. This transit brings major changes involving home and family. So, this could even be renovating property, changing living arrangements, feeling restless in your current environment, or relocating. Emotionally, this transit may expose family patterns you've outgrown. You may realize that your current definition of stability was inherited, not chosen. This transit gives you the power to create emotional liberation. But on the other side, constant instability can feel exhausting if you resist creating internal grounding. Now, as soon as Uranus goes into Gemini, it's going to be making a few aspects. One of the first is going to be a conjunction with Venus in Gemini. So, this can absolutely bring some exciting changes to your home life. So, this can give you the power to create your dream home, relocate somewhere that feels more aligned, experience financial opportunities that are tied to real estate or home businesses, and even improve family relationships. For some, unexpected romantic developments may impact living situations. So, at its highest, this energy gives you the ability to create a life that feels beautiful both publicly and privately. But chasing aesthetic comfort without emotional healing can leave deeper issues unresolved. So, be sure to look out for that. Next, Uranus will be making a sextile to Neptune in Aries, currently in your second house. So, emotional security and financial security are being rewritten. This is deeply important for you because you may realize that your relationship with the money is directly tied to emotional safety. So, this can help you to explore building wealth differently, creating home based income, healing any scarcity patterns, and even creating greater self sufficiency. So, this energy gives you the ability to build both emotional and financial freedom. But fear based financial decisions may keep you stuck. Next, Uranus will be making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, currently in your 12th house. So, this is one of the deepest healing aspects of the entire transit. This is going to bring hidden ancestral patterns resurfacing that involve emotional suppression, family secrecy, abandonment, survival programming, and intergenerational trauma. So you may become the person who ends cycles that your family normalized. So this energy creates profound ancestral healing, but avoiding difficult emotional truths delays freedom. Next, Uranus will be making a square to the North Node currently in Pisces in your first house. So, of course, this may create some tension between your personal evolution and family expectations. So, you may be asking, who am I outside of my family's expectations? Am I building a life that reflects me or what others expect from me? So, this can definitely bring some major identity breakthroughs. Some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to stay flexible around home changes. So, your living situation may shift multiple times during this transit. So, instead of resisting change, focus on creating internal stability that travels with you. Next is to heal family patterns intentionally. Now, this transit may definitely expose some inherited emotional dynamics that need healing. So, therapy, family systems work, ancestral healing, and boundary work can be incredibly transformative. Next is to build financial security that supports freedom. Your home and financial life are going to become increasingly connected. So, create systems that allow flexibility rather than trapping you in survival based decisions. Next is to redefine what home means to you. So, home may stop looking like traditional models. So, give yourself permission to create a lifestyle that feels emotionally nourishing, even if it looks different from what you were taught. And finally, create private peace. Your external success will feel empty if your private life feels chaotic. Protect your home environment and emotional peace with intention. A great affirmation for you during this Uranus and Gemini era is: I create safety within myself. I release inherited instability and build a home, family, and future that feel deeply aligned. Be sure to let me know how this Uranus and Gemini energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this gave you clarity, be sure to support this video with a like, share it with someone who needs it, hype this video, and subscribe to stay in the flow. And if this video felt like a mirror, my As Above, So Within digital prompt journal is where you sit with what came up and actually work through it. All of my offerings are linked in the description box below, so be sure to check them out and get started. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching.